drive whose representations of trauma and PTSD. The Time Lord's journey is often marked by trauma and loss. The Doctor, a being with a mind that can absorb and process the knowledge of countless civilizations, is not immune to the ravages of time and the consequences of their actions. The show's portrayal of trauma and PTSD is multifaceted, reflecting the complexities of the human experience. From the emotional devastation of the loss of companions like Sarah Jane Smith and Rose Tyler, to the haunting memories of the Time War that left the Doctor emotionally scarred, the show delves into the long-term effects of trauma on characters and the universe. The absence and presence of the Doctor's companion, Clara Oswald, serves as a poignant example of trauma's impact. Clara's relationships with the Doctor and her own timelines serve as a feedback loop, highlighting the cyclical nature of trauma and the obstacles faced by survivors. The Doctor's manipulation of Clara's lives, often without her knowledge or consent, mirrors the ways in which trauma can distort and erase memories, leaving the survivor questioning their own identity and reality. The sociopathic tendencies of villains like the Master and the Cybermen also illustrate the traumatic impact of trauma on individuals and society. Their journeys, from innocuous beginnings to genocidal rampages, demonstrate how trauma can be used to justify and perpetuate harm, blurring the lines between self and other, perpetrator and victim. Moreover, the Doctor's adventures often highlight the ways in which trauma can be intergenerational. Survivors of traumatic events, like the fall of Gallifrey, carry the scars of their experiences into future lives, forever linked to the Time Lord's brutal fate. The human colonies that exist as extensions of Time Lord civilization further exacerbate the phenomenon, forcing entire civilizations to live in the shadow of traumatic. Despite its commitment to these portrayals, Doctor Who remains uniquely cautious when representing PTSD directly. It refrains from resorting to dramatics, emphasizing subtlety over shock value. In so doing, it sheds light on the far more elusive, inarticulate forms of trauma not only visible as severe shock reactions, but just as equally traumatic quieter states, like a heightened vigilance and generalized tension long periods spent sleep-deprived. Furthermore, by acknowledging but never resolving the trauma of its characters, the show offers a unique anti-therapy perspective. The Doctor's compartmentalization of their own traumas and the brutal, repetitive cycle of the Time Wars stand as a counterpoint to Western psychotherapeutic traditions, highlighting the insufficiency of self-healing narratives and the importance of collective action in the face of shared trauma. Ultimately, the show reminds us that while trauma can shape the lives of individuals like the Doctor, it's also a condition deeply rooted in history, time, and the human and sometimes not human condition. Doctor Who shows us that trauma can be understood as a universal, collective burden affecting individuals and entire civilizations, rather than merely a personal affliction.